seen that Heritage Month is observed in September to foster greater social cohesion, nation building, and a shared national identity. Well, Heritage Month creates an environment for all people to embrace and celebrate what was inherited and bequeathed to us by our forebears. Well known around the world for her moving praise poetry and song, singer and poet Jessica Mbangeni joins us now to talk about praise poetry as part of her heritage and gives us a special Heritage Month performance of I Am an African. Oh, Jessica, a very good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Weekend Dawn.
Thank you ever so much for having me.
You are literally the second guest to come into the studio on Weekend Dawn. So thank you very much for gracing us with your presence and literally for ushering in this new month, this new energy as we enter lockdown level 2. We've seen praise poetry is ultimately a reflection and expression of our African DNA. It reflects our heritage, our culture, and what is happening around us. So looking at the history of praise poetry and ultimately what it reflects, how did you come into being a praise poet in South Africa today?
Praise poetry is the oral tradition of conveying divine messages from God and from our great ancestors, because we are the spirit as the people. It is a gift that one gets because it comes through the muse, which is the ancient of poetry. We all have the muse as the creatives, but for the praise poetry, the ancient of poetry. So this is the gift that I wouldn't choose as a woman in South Africa because of the background where I grew up from, that the woman cannot be loud, you can't be heard. Actually, the loudness, I've just realized that now, is that if you are loud, it means you would dominate and be heard. So women have always been silenced in a culture that I grew up from. But this voice kept on being unruly, and until my mother said to me, you know, you've got a gift, and your gift is a gift of praise poetry. And I thought I was just a singer, but I was a singer that would sing and talk, and people would laugh at me because I wouldn't sing like Mamora Pekamalope and Brenda Fassie. But with me, I have aligned it with the purpose of my life, the calling that I have to heal the world, to transform people's lives, to preserve my cultural integrity, sustain heritage intelligence through the spoken word, through the expressions from our great ancestors, and telling my history and give the tribute where it's due to our great queens, Queen Nani of the Maroons of the ancient of Ghana, of the Asante Kingdom, who fought actually the British for the abolishment of slavery. So it took me to the spaces to know about the great queens Nefertiti, who was a cultural revolutionary, the Queen Europa, who was the symbol of influence, which Europe was named after. So it took me all around the world. As I've traveled the world in 7 seas, I have actually tapped into the spaces where I have been because of my great ancestry, the orchestra that I carry through. So it has aligned me, this gift has aligned me with the purpose of my life. And today, I'm a revolutionary. I'm into economic transformation, women's emancipation, understand what is emancipation means on today's life, that women's lives are supposed to be they depend upon men's validation. Well, I tap into the spaces whereby I influence transformation in policies. I sit in critical places.
Yes, and on that note, you've also, you're very big in collaboration, and you've received some recognition. You got a Satma back in 2017, amongst others. But just looking at us embracing indigenous knowledge systems and perhaps African perspectives, not excluding other knowledge systems, but also making African knowledge systems more inclusive. How would you say this has come to be your life's work?
I am privileged to understand that the world is Africa. And being in this soil of the African continent, I'm in the core of the mighty Gondwana. So everything that we do as the Africans born in Africa, we must know that we should embrace the whole world. We should be authentic where we are so that we can bring up the story and take it to the world, extend it out there and know that we've got a value. And the worth of our story is within us. We are the critical skills of the world. We are the human capital as the Africans. Therefore, we should preserve our heritage intelligence. We are the innovators. We are the inventors. And beyond this COVID-19, look, all the vehicles, the models of development will be coming from Africa.
Looking at how some people are slow in the uptake and are not as open to these indigenous knowledge systems, as an alternative or as an alternative indigenous knowledge systems, I want to know how you handle criticism. How do you handle those who seek to violently oppose what you stand for?
It is because I understand the curriculum that we are raised under. We have been de-empowered. We have depowered our own talents, our own intelligence, so that we can conform into what you call a stereotype curriculum, which is outdated. The curriculum was good because it took us to the world to be actually to allow ourselves. Education is the key. Oh yes, we have opened doors, and then what now? How many doors are still need to open? So I say today, we need to challenge the curriculum. We need to change and learn about our languages and learn with our languages so that we can be able to be innovative and develop more and more around our environment. Decommodification of our own commodities, it is the key. And we need to develop an integrated economic transformational model that can be able to control the value chain of who we are as the people. It comes inside out, not outside in.